Okay, we have Mr. Paras with us. Welcome, Mr. Paras. How are you?
I'm good, Tarang. How are you?
I'm great. I'm great. It's good to have you back again for this amazing seminar on Portugal. How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling pretty good, Tarang. You tell me how things at your end.
Yes, they are very great. I'm actually looking forward to this interesting webinar today because Portugal is one of my favorite destinations. So I'm definitely looking forward to this presentation.
Well, it's my favorite destination too. I mean, it's lovely. Whatever you see there, it's absolutely stunning, and it's one of my best destinations that I've ever visited.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I think we should directly jump on to the interesting presentation. So we have Mr. Paras with us today. Just 2 days back, Mr. Paras gave us an interesting destination webinar on Jordan destination as well, and now he has Portugal for us today. And let's see what has he got for us today. Over to you, Mr. Paras.
Sure, sure. Just one second. Okay, so I'll just share the screen for everyone. I hope I'm audible. I will obviously speak a little louder uh, because last time I believe people were not able to hear me,
So
some of them. So I will just be a little bit more louder as compared to my normal voice so that you all
yes.
can hear me.
We have already received the feedback and that people are able to hear us. So
Mhm.
I guess that's the optimum volume. We can start now.
Just a moment.
Yes.
Is the screen visible to everyone?
Yes, it is visible.
Okay. All right. So here we go. Welcome to Portugal, everyone. And I hope all those who are attending this session, I hope all of you are doing well and safe and also at your respective places. So today we will start with the presentation. So let's go ahead with it. So Portugal is a small country with a great history and almost about 877 years of history in total. Moving on to some information, which is the fast facts about Portugal. Um, so Portugal is the most western country in Europe, which became a part of the European Union in 1986, with a population of about 10.6 million people. Portugal also offers a coastline of about 800 kilometers, which is too huge, and everywhere you are able to explore the beaches. The total area in which Portugal is surrounded is 92,212 square kilometer. In the country, you have almost 60% of the people who speak English as a second language. The local language is Portuguese, which is oftenly spoken by everybody there. And the capital city is Lisbon, wherein you have most of the international flights landing into. Apart from that, you have the other airport, which is Porto, which is the north part of Portugal, where you have some of the airlines going. For example, Emirates has got their flight from Dubai to Porto, and Turkish Airlines fly from Istanbul to Porto as well. Apart from this, the local currency is euros. The visa which is required to get into Portugal is Schengen visa, which takes about 15 days. That's the standard procedure and the processing time. And you have to use it's the same formality which is required. You have to submit the application at your nearest VFS office. Moving on to the connectivity. So Portugal as a country, it has a diversified connectivity, which means that almost everything is in a short distance. So traveling between north to south is very easy, and you could use the national rail or you could use the land transport. You can also take flights. So the national carrier, the national airline for Portugal is called as TAP Air Portugal, uh, which operates from almost all the regions and has a direct connectivity from Lisbon to Porto as well. So you can do Lisbon Porto, you can go to Faro, and at the same time, you have the national rail system, which is easily accessible throughout Portugal. Uh, Apart from this, we also have about 5 international cruise terminals. So there are several cruises in Europe which have their docking and itinerary, which has Portugal also included in it. So you can include cruises also from Portugal if you would like to. Not to miss that Portugal has been rated as the best in terms of the road quality, the road system quality. I would say the second, and at the same time, it has 3,000 kilometer of highways, so self-driving options are easily accessible as well. Moving on to the flight connectivity, as I was telling you, international flights from major cities in India, the tier 1 and tier 2, you have almost major European airlines and Middle Eastern airlines also flying into Lisbon, and some of them to Porto, as I was mentioning earlier. Apart from this, you have domestic flights operating from Lisbon, which means that you can also cover the north part, which is Porto, by taking a flight. And also you can go to various autonomous regions, which I will tell you which are those, and cover up all the continental regions as well. The average flying time is about 13 hours, which includes a stopover. That's the minimum flying time, but depending on the airline you choose for your clients, the layover time would be according to that. Now let's discuss the regions, the most interesting part of the presentation, I would say, and the most important part as well, because these are the regions which eventually will be offered to the different types of tourists, whether it's leisure or it's MICE, or if you're doing an event or anything, or it's a luxury traveler. So the continental regions start with the ones in yellow over here, which is obviously Porto in the north, the center of Portugal, the Lisbon, which is the capital city. You have Alentejo, and you have Algarve. So all the regions in yellow can be covered easily by using national rail or by road transport. Apart from this, you have two autonomous regions as well, which is Azores and Madeira. So you have an option to fly from Lisbon to Madeira and Lisbon to Azores as well. The main airport in Madeira is called as Funchal. That's the Funchal airport. So you have to take a flight from Lisbon to Funchal. And for Azores, you have to take a flight from Lisbon to Ponta Delgada. It is not possible for you to cover these two regions using the road transport because they're a little far away. The average flying time is about 1.5 hours to 2 hours precisely to these two regions, but they are actually really beautiful. As and when I will tell you what is there to see in these regions, you will definitely want to include these regions in the itinerary. Let's talk about the weather. So Portugal has mild weather throughout the year with almost about 16 dry days per month in winters as well. So this means that Portugal is not only popular for traveling in summer, but also popular to travel in winter. And we do have various types of travelers, various types of customers traveling from India to Portugal during winters as well. This is primarily the luxury travelers and the honeymooners during winters. However, it's a year-round destination. So obviously the peak season to travel to Portugal, or the best time to travel to Portugal rather, starts from 1st of April till about, easily 15th September, 30th September, even first week of October. But you also have a chance to, or you should also think of suggesting Portugal during winters, because most of the touristic sites are flooded with tourists. The temperature is also 17 degrees Celsius in winters, as you can see. This is the average temperature recorded at 12 p.m. during winters. And obviously, the daylight is about 7 hours in winters and 12 hours in summers. So this means that Portugal is an year-round destination. Let's discuss the Portugal regions in detail. And let me tell you what these regions have been offering and have to offer to the different types of travelers from the India market and various parts of the world, obviously. So Lisbon, which is called as Lisboa in Portuguese, is the capital city, as I was telling you earlier. And it's one of the most vibrant and charismatic cities, especially very popular for MICE, for its trendy nightlife, meetings. It has several venues which can be offered to various types of conferences or events. Not to forget the most beautiful romantic paradise in Sintra, which is called as Fairy Tale Castle. On the left side, as you can see, this is a really beautiful romantic paradise, and it's a venue as well, just to let you know, for various types of receptions or weddings, whatever. Lisbon offers a lot of shopping options. The city is completely lively with its nightlife, starting at 8 p.m. and ends at about 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning. So you have various nightclubs. At the same time, entire Portugal, including obviously Lisbon, is very popular for its gastronomy, its history, which is completely natural. At the same time, some breathtaking views. Fado music is something which is very popular. It's a Portuguese music, and you can hear Fado music as in when you're walking on the streets, or you are sitting in a restaurant, or you're in a hotel. Lisboa region is very popular for its water sports, its beach activities, considering the large coastline that Portugal has, which is obviously 800 kilometers, as we were discussing in the beginning. At the same time, Lisbon is also very popular for, its three UNESCO World Heritage sites. And also dolphin watching is something which is very popular in this region. Let's move on to Porto at the north. So as I was telling you that there are some flights which operate direct to Porto, which means that from their hubs, respective hubs, which is Emirates and Turkish Airlines. So Emirates has got their direct flight from Dubai to Porto, and then you have Istanbul to Porto direct flight. So Porto basically houses 5 UNESCO World Heritage sites. And so basically it was in the Porto and the north when the entire country, Portugal, came into the existence, in the 12th century. Porto is also a gateway and a World Heritage city, which is the gateway and the departure point for various types of tourists. At the same time, Porto is not only known for its port wine. Port wine is something. So there are a lot of vineyards in Porto. Porto is very famous for its wine. Entire Portugal, I would say, is very famous for its wine, wherein certain regions have their own wine, which is shipped to almost all parts of the world. So Porto is not only famous for its port wine, which is shipped from Porto to all over the world, but also for its ancient churches and monuments, along with modern architecture. Not to miss the Douro Valley on the right side, which is very popular in terms of river cruising. River cruising is something which is very famous for various types of travelers. At the same time, you have the port wine, as I was telling you. Porto is also very famous for mice, so there are a lot of meetings which can take place. There are a lot of venues. There's a lot of incentive movement which is already picking up from the Indian market. At the same time, Porto also is very famous for its natural parks and manor houses, let me tell you. Let's discuss the center of Portugal, which houses 4 UNESCO World Heritage sites. So the city, which is called as Coimbra, it's called as the world's third oldest university. Center of Portugal is very popular for its surfing options. So you have various surfing spots in Portugal. Surfing is something which is very popular, and it's offered for almost all types of levels. It's very popular here in center of Portugal, especially in Nazaré and Peniche. Center of Portugal can be done while you are in Lisbon. You can travel by road or using the national rail. This area is also very popular for its thermal baths and mountains with some breathtaking views. Moving on to Alentejo, which can be again a part of the itinerary and can be explored by rail or land transport. So Alentejo is very, very popular again for its wild beaches, surfing options. At the same time, you have various olive groves over here. So olives are something which are produced and shipped as well from this part. Alentejo also houses about 2 UNESCO World Heritage sites. Again, it's very popular for its striking coastline, gastronomy options, its wine. So this region is again very, very popular for leisure and luxury travelers. The most important, place, Algarve. Algarve is again, it's called as the Florida of Europe because of its beaches, because of its luxury resorts, its golf courses. Algarve is very, very popular and very and a must-visit site, as in when you're planning any itinerary for your clients. Now, let me tell you, Portugal is very popular for its golf courses. There are more than 90 golf courses throughout the country, but Algarve itself has about 40 top-class golf courses, and it has, because of this, Portugal has also been rated as the best golf destination in the world. At the same time, coming back to Algarve, Algarve offers a lot of luxury resorts, such as this one. And you have various types of spas which can be explored. Gastronomy is something which is very popular in this area, and also the water sports. All types of water sports are available. You have an option to go for nightlife. There is an area called as Albufera, which is very live. In the evening, you have various types of nightclubs which are open until late. Plus, of course, you have various walking and cycling trails, which can be explored as well in Algarve. Moving on to Madeira. So Madeira is, again, as I was telling you in the beginning, that Madeira can be explored um, while you are basically in Lisbon. You have to take a flight from Lisbon to Funchal. It's about a 2-hour flight which can be taken. It's also, the island of Madeira is also a gateway, it's a getaway destination for various types of cruise travelers as well. But the subtropical climate, which is very popular, and the beaches, the mountains, the gardens, the vineyards make Madeira a very exciting place for a wide range of tourists, I would say. Madeira is very popular for its lush vegetation. The fruits and the vegetables are very fresh over here. At the same time, you have trekking options, you have mountaineering options with some breathtaking views, you have options to go for water sports. The Madeira wine, this region has its own wine, again, is very popular for its wine. So Madeira wine is also shipped to various parts of the world. And of course, the New Year fireworks happen in Madeira every year. Madeira is also popular for its flower festival parade, which can be explored by various types of tourists. Diving and fishing options are something which is, again, adding a value in this destination. So it's Madeira is also quite, often added in the itineraries by various types of travelers, more often honeymooners, I would say, and the leisure travelers. Let's move on to the second autonomous region, which is Azores. You can take a flight from Lisbon to Ponta Delgada and explore this beauty over here, which offers almost about 9 islands. And, you have some untouched nature, landscapes, which are very unique, very natural. At the same time, a very unique attraction, which is very famous over here, which is called as whale watching. Then you obviously have wine, which is very popular. You have some hot springs. You have a lot of water sports options. You have deep sea fishing options, and of course trekking. So this is a very beautiful region and must be a part of all the luxury and leisure traveler itineraries. Um, it's something which offers about 9 islands in total, and you also have some historical options, such as it has 2 World Heritage sites as well, which can be explored. So this definitely can be added in the itinerary. Let's discuss the attributes and attractions, throughout Portugal. So in terms of art culture, we have almost about 17 UNESCO World Heritage sites. So people who are obviously going for history have lots and lots of things to explore, because, it also, in terms of art and culture, you also have the Fado music, which is very popular. As I was telling you earlier, you have some unique museums which can be included in the itinerary. It's also famous for its rich handicrafts and popular traditions. So, in terms of uh, arts and culture, you have various options which can be included. In terms of gastronomy and wine, as you must have seen, the entire Portugal is very popular for its wine. At the same time, this custard tart on the right side is very popular. It's called as pastel de nata. That's the custard tart which is uh, available almost everywhere in Portugal. It's really delicious, I would say. Now you could have this either with the evening tea, or after any meal, as a form of dessert. For luxury travelers, not to miss, in Portugal, you have more than 27 Michelin star restaurants, which obviously a luxury traveler is looking at. Their own fresh Atlantic fish and seafood is very popular throughout Portugal, and it's absolutely very fresh. Because of its popularity in terms of wines, you have some really budgeted wines and priced wines at an affordable price. So wine is something which is very popular and not very expensive. At the same time, this custard tart is very popular, as I was telling you. The Douro Valley, the port wine is also very famous. So in terms of gastronomy and wine, we have everything. Plus, I would also like to add that in Lisbon, you have more than 111 Indian restaurants as well. So the Indian food is also not a challenge in Lisbon and Porto as well. In terms of tranquility, we are world's third safest country, which we have been given this award by Global Peace Index 2019. And of course, why not? Portugal has a lot of safety measures. And at the same time, the people are really warm, welcoming, family friendly atmosphere everywhere, offers a preserved environment. Plus, obviously, in terms of religion, also you have the Fatima Shrine. Moving on to the Atlantic coast, as we were discussing about the size of the coastline, Portugal is Europe's best beach and surfing destinations, wherein you almost have about 286 surf spots for all the levels, as I was telling you earlier, whether it's a beginner, intermediate, or a pro. So you have almost all types of levels, surfing options. At the same time, you have all types of water sports that can be done. You have whale and dolphin watching options. You have some great Instagram scenic views for its natural beauty, which the entire country is offering to the tourists. In terms of outdoor activities, as I was telling you about golf, so Portugal has been rated as the world's best golf destination by World Travel Awards. With almost about 91 golf courses, you have almost 40 golf courses in Algarve itself, which is obviously great. How can we miss the famous player Cristiano Ronaldo, who plays from Portugal football team? Is what Portuguese, obviously, and again they were the European champions in 2016. So Portugal is also quite very popular because of the player, and I'm sure we have a lot of fans. We have a lot of fans over here who watch football. They definitely know about him. In terms of outdoor activities, again, you have golf, you have football, which is you can easily watch various matches depending on the time of the year you're traveling. You have a lot of sports tourism, which is encouraged by Portugal as a country, followed by various training camps. In terms of entertainment, you have a lot of dining options, nightlife, you have various music festivals happening throughout the year. And then you have, at the same time, you have wonderful shopping experience. So entertainment is something which is again, everywhere, wherever you travel in Portugal. In terms of romantic idea, it's an ideal destination for weddings, and there is already a wedding which has taken place in Portugal from the India market. Let me tell you, that was almost a year back. River cruising is very popular for couples as well as other types of travelers, which is obviously possible in various parts of Portugal, but very prominent in Porto. Plus, you have some amazing sunset views by the sea. This can be explored in Algarve for the luxury resorts. All those luxury resorts have got their own, a lot of them have got their own private beach options and amazing sunset spots as well. Plus, the villages are really charming. So in terms of romantic, you have almost everything that you can offer to various types of honeymooners, or the entire country can be pitched as a wedding destination as well by a lot of wedding planners. So Portugal is very, very popular, or I would say it's become very popular in last 4 or 5 years in terms of MICE, just because of the kind of events which have taken place already and the ones which are going to be taking place in future. So Portugal has been ranked as the 11th country in the world for meetings as per ICCA, and Lisbon, which is the capital, has been ranked as 6th city in the world as per ICCA. At the same time, it's very popular for its various venues, which gives an option for various types of web summits. And why not? You have some top professional event organizers who would definitely assist you with a variety of events or conferences that you would like to host for your corporate clients. At the same time, you have some quality venues which can be offered to various types of travelers, and all types of venues are there, whether somebody has a budget. And I'll show you some websites towards the end, which will give you a complete idea of what type of venues can be offered to various types of MICE travelers. So we have been awarded as the world's leading destination, which is quite an achievement for us, I would say. And why not? Because Portugal has so much to offer, and especially to all types of travelers, and especially for its untouched beauty. So in last 3 years, we have been getting that in 2017, 18 and 19 from World Travel Awards. This is the award which we got. We hope to get this in 2020 as well, but let's see. Let's hope for the best. Now, I will show you some of the videos which would summarize the destination and various regions that we have just discussed. Let's start with the videos over here.
How many times have you left early, cancelled a meeting, or otherwise changed your plan? How many times have you said you were going, but stayed right where you were, sinking in the sand? How many times did you look at yourself from another perspective and grasp, when all was said and done, you were simply in the wrong place? Listen, we're the same size as what we see and not what we have. A man needs to see things with his own eyes, walk the world with his own feet, have his back burned by the sun and his feet blistered by the street. Which is harsher, the icy winds atop a mountain or the baking heat along the plain? There's only one way to know, seeing this with our own eyes and not on our smartphones, flashing up images of landscapes already shared a million times, really seeing with our own gazes for just a few and sometimes far too few times. The good news is they are still here. These landscapes do persist in the three-dimensional world that we exist, and they do hold the capacity to transform us. So come, take a look, but look to see and not to show, and save it right here and here. Put the phone away and go. Once we experience distance, we understand just how much we miss our own and our homes. We can see the wood from the trees. Travel helps us flourish and grow. We need to go places we don't know to shatter that arrogance that makes us experts in what we have not seen, when we should remain humble and keen as students and just head off in discovery. In 20, 30, 40 years' time, we're going to regret what we did not do. So voyage out, let the wind blow through your sails, explore, dream and discover. Believe that that sky is going to seem that bit bluer. You must have read, when something good happens, travel to celebrate. When something bad happens, travel to forget. And when nothing happens, travel to make something happen. Keep this in your head. It's the truth. And this is the proof. And it's with us each and every day. We just have to read the signs. Because after all, we can't skip life.
How many times have you thought about starting over, but said to yourself, well, perhaps I must stay and not a goer? How many times have you grasped that it was time for change, only to stay only within range of what you know, thinking that the time to grow had passed? When choosing your second home, choose a place of affection, where the food always brings a recollection of happy days, where the human and summer warmth harmonize, and where the sea always awaits your appreciative gaze. We may not all speak the same language, but we do all speak with the same tongue. Beauty of silence, the truth in a look, the power of an open spirit to find a unique connection beyond what we took to be a daunting venture, a risky pick. Who said an old dog couldn't learn a new trick? We have now reached the so-called third age. Wisdom, knowledge, and pleasure in the simple things should not dim our quest for adventure. It's never too late to fly the nest. Don't feel like you're past your best. Just remember that no matter how many years we are granted, and however wise, however much dust has settled in our eyes, we still don't know just what wave might be next. 2-meter roller or a 30-meter breaker. But we now know they are both a prize. Aging is the only way of living a long time. Life comes in a perfect size to ensure that we never forget the past or the dreams born in our childhood. Remember, the clock is ticking, but it does not stop. It's not a matter of happy endings, but new beginnings. It's not the time to take your bow. The past is behind, the future ahead. What we have is this great moment now. We can't skip new beginnings.
How many times do you find yourself staying when you say you're going? Convinced yourself it was wrong place, wrong time, but deep down somewhere knowing that something is missing. All we hear is hissing when we must start listening to the songs that echo within us. This is the moment to seek out new views and angles. Let this infuse work in progress we are not, but rather fertile land where everything blooms and flourishes. The art that surrounds us nourishes, leading us into new places where there is no old and everything renews, turning into new colors, new ideas, and new faces. Imagine a language that contains all languages, that shatters the barriers to embrace the unknown. Imagine a place where ideas are grown and travel at the speed of light, a light so bright but at the same time almost unshown, a light unimaginably grand, yet the same size as a grain of sand. There are places where the seasons merge, where time extends and the days of the week intermingle and then diverge. Places where a tradition dresses new clothes and always gets served up with a twist. It's so good when we lose ourselves, but not in our own midst, finding the freedom to stumble across the border in the right direction and get a renewed affection on turning every corner. We finally grasp that escaping is pointless. Everything will thrive and pulse with a new life, drive us to create, invent, and dive that bit deeper, that one step further, that bit nearer, getting that bit shallower, and yet that bit steeper. Listen, the train only passes once. We can't skip new ideas.
Okay, so last but not the least, I would also like to play another video for all the participants over here. So just to tell you, because of the kind of unprecedented times that we are living in, so we have prepared a very, very beautiful video, which has a very positive message for everyone. And the video obviously talks about hope, you know, that we would definitely surpass the situation, right, which is happening throughout the world because of the global pandemic. So let's play this video, and I would request you all to also go on YouTube from your side and maybe share on your social media platforms of your companies, because this is really a nice video and has a very positive message for each and everybody in the world. Let's start with the video.
It's time to stop. It's time to look out for each other in the distance. Time to stare humanity in the eyes. To take a break for the world. It's time to stop. Time to make a pause so we can play again. To think of everyone and meet no one. To reset, recenter, switch off, to move on. Time to change our little world. celebrate the path of mankind. It's time to stop. We are meant to connect and we are stronger together. But separated, we are today more united than ever. And for now, our main strength is to be apart. It's time to stop. Nature, landscapes, beaches and monuments aren't going anywhere. They will still be there waiting for a better time to be lived. And we must do the same for a while. It's time to stop. The perfect time not to visit anything. Sometimes to rise is to stand still. It's time to stop. Stop and think of ourselves. Think of everyone else too. It's time to stop and refocus as a whole for all. It's time to understand and respect our times. Respect one another. The faster we stop, the sooner we will bond again. It's time to dream of those amazing days to come. For when those days arrive, we will say again.
So in Portuguese, we say obrigado, which means thank you everyone for being a part of this lovely session that we had today. I would just like to show you some of the links as well, which are going to be very useful for you. So visitportugal.com is the official website for uh, Portugal Tourist Board. And for MICE, you can always use this website, which is Meetings in Portugal, which is the official website. And this website will give you almost each and every information about various types of hotels and venues for MICE. Similarly, Visit Portugal will give you a lot of information about various regions that we just discussed. At the same time, you can download the photos from the website and the videos for using in your itineraries and promoting on social media. Last but not the least, please do watch Can't Skip Hope video on YouTube, and please try to share on your social media channels, platforms, or your YouTube channels, wherever, because it's very interesting, which is interesting initiative taken by Portugal Tourism Board. I think Taran, this is it from my side. So we can start with the question answer session.
Yes, definitely. So we have a couple of questions, actually a lot of questions on the Zoom app as well as on YouTube. So we
Right.
can start off by answering them one by one. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so you tell me, where do you want to start off with first? The YouTube channel or the Zoom app?
Whichever, whatever you like, that's fine.
Okay.
I have to answer the question. So whatever
Okay.
question you raise, the
So
more
I'm going
questions you
to.
raise, the more I'll be, talking about Portugal.
Okay, so the first question that is for us is for basically mice groups. So how many nights we should do and which places should be covered? This question is by Sun and Sands Travel Services, and they're asking about what is the average number of nights we should try and expect for a mice group.
Well, that's a very, very good question, and that's a most frequently asked question when it comes to mice. So I would suggest that anywhere between 3 and 4 nights, because I hope everyone, as we know that mice travelers and corporates have some sort of limitation to the number of nights. So minimum of 3 and 4 nights is good enough. They can give 3 nights in Lisbon and or maybe 2 nights in Lisbon and 2 nights in Porto. But if they want to be at one place, then Lisbon is an ideal, obviously, city which can be offered because of its trendy nightlife options that can be offered to the various types of MICE travelers. Plus, you have Indian food also, which is available in Lisbon. So 3 nights is an ideal itinerary in Lisbon, wherein you have various team building activities as well, which can be offered. So towards the end of the session, I can obviously send you a list of companies, who are catering to the Indian market in terms of getting the itineraries on board for everyone.
Right. Right. And so, adding on to this question, what is the best time to visit Portugal? Like, a lot
So,
of people have asked that
it's
question.
it's basically, as I was telling you, it's a year-round destination. But again, every country has a specific season to travel. So starting from the first week of April, till about September mid or September end is absolutely a good time and a great time to travel, because we do have largely the tourists from India during this period, and the summer period, basically the summer season in India. So that's an ideal time to travel to Portugal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So a lot of people are also asking about the visa requirements. Some of them have also expressed their feelings about that it becomes very difficult sometimes, and embassy always creates some issues. So can tourism board, Portugal Tourism or Visit Portugal can be of help somewhere with that process, so that we can like smoothen the trade much more for our travel partners.
Right. So there are two ways to look at it, Tarang. Basically, I understand that sometimes getting a Schengen visa is a challenge, but obviously because of the various restrictions which are imposed by the tourism ministry and various embassies. However, I mean, we have seen a very, very large number of groups happening from the Indian market over a period of last 3 to 4 years. I'll be very honest with you. Though tourism board do not have any interest in terms of supporting or in terms of telling the embassy to grant the visa, but obviously, when it's a bigger group movement and when something really goes beyond your control and beyond your imagination, travelers, for a traveler who's traveled to almost all parts of the world, still finding a challenge in terms of visa, then do write to me. And we have been working on this very closely with the embassy of late. And I am aware that in various parts of Maharashtra, people have had this challenge in Mumbai, especially because of the fact that the consulate sits in Goa. So these are the kind of challenges that we have come across. But we have over a period of time fulfilled all those, and we are trying to support as much as we can, and we will keep on doing it. That's for
Okay.
sure. Yeah.
Okay. Great. So, can you just elaborate a bit upon the adventure activities that are available? Right.
So
So, some people are asking about paragliding or skiing experiences, if any. Right. So, can you elaborate a bit on that?
paragliding options, I'll have to check on that. But yes, I believe there are paragliding options available in Lisbon. But yes, I can definitely check on that and maybe share some information with you. Apart from
Okay.
this, you have in terms of adventure, as I was telling you, you have a lot of water sports activities, surfing options. Then you have river cruising, and then obviously these are the activities which are quite prominent. And then obviously some of the tours like whale watching and all, which are very popular in some of the regions. But yes, this is all about paragliding. I can check which regions specifically offer that option, and I can send you that information. Maybe you can share it with the participants, or maybe on a common platform whenever you're free or something.
Okay. Okay, that's great. And since we are facing with this COVID situation, nation, globally, so can we expect some changes in the visa rules post this phase?
I think what I see, Tarang, it's going to this situation of COVID-19 will definitely change a lot of things throughout the world.
Okay.
Starting with the pattern of people, the work life, the personal life. Again, of course, every country at the end of the day would be looking at tourism, because that really adds a lot of value in any country's GDP.
Mm-hmm.
So I see that there could be some sort of lenience which might be given, but again, it's very difficult to predict. But yes, what I understand and what I have understood so far in our case, we have always made sure that whether we are in any sort of situation or any sort of pandemic, we always give our best and do our best for the travelers from India. But to answer to your question, I think there will be some sort of changes in terms of visa policies ongoing in terms of entire Schengen. I mean, that has to come from the European Union, you see, for all the Schengen countries, because Portugal is a part of European Union. So, but if you ask me, then I sense that there should be some sort of changes in the near future.
Okay. Okay. So we have a few questions related to Spain specifically. So, people are asking that can we like club Portugal with Spain, and what will be the ideal itinerary around that, as well as something about the train connectivity between Portugal and Spain. So
Yes,
how
you.
can we club it efficiently, and what will be the ideal itinerary?
Well, it all depends on the type. So basically, the first question I think you asked is whether you can club. So yes, you can club with Spain as well.
Hmm.
Obviously, if you will ask me, then I would tell you, uh, I would not be able to comment on the itinerary for Spain. But yes, you have various options which are available from various DMCs that people can obviously source. The DMCs and the tour operators, which I will share with you, will be able to assist all types of itineraries combined with Spain. You can use the rail transport, you can travel by flight, you can go by land also to Spain. That's also possible. But then, just to let you know that an ideal itinerary would all depend on the type of traveler, whether it's a leisure itinerary or a MICE itinerary. But yes, you can have an itinerary of about 10 or 11 nights if you are looking forward to combine both the countries, depending on the budget and depending on the requirements. But to cover up Portugal, you must offer 6 nights. That's minimum 6 nights, which will include Lisbon, Porto, and Algarve. And also the other regions that I was talking about, these are absolutely stunning, offering lots and lots of activities, especially Madeira, Alentejo, and Azores. So these are the areas which are now becoming popular. When people started traveling to Portugal a long back from India, people only knew about Lisbon. But now the thing is that because of so many activities that the Portugal Tourism Board has done in the Indian market, so much of visibility that has been given to the Indian trade, and obviously at the consumer level as well, the other regions are widely promoted, I would say. And it's always good to do one destination at a particular time. But yes, if you would like to combine that, for Portugal I would definitely suggest 6 nights to cover up at least the main areas, because even that is lesser. But again, it all depends on the type of traveler, the budget, if whether it's a budget traveler. For MICE travelers, it's too difficult to comment whether they can combine, because they obviously have a minimum nights restriction. All the corporates have minimum night restriction, so they might as well want to do about 3 nights in Lisbon and then move on to Spain if they have a space of about 5-6 nights to cover up during their travel.
Right.
So you can combine, you can access Spain as well, and people have been doing that. I mean, that is something which is very, very common.
Hmm. Exactly. Okay. Okay. So before we move forward, we have Mr. Ramanpreet with us, and I'm sure he has some interesting questions for you as well.
Yeah,
So
I
welcome,
think
Mr.
we have our director also from the to the India market, but on as a panelist with us, and she basically takes care. I would like to introduce her as well. I'm not sure whether she will be able to talk, because she was also occupied with something. So basically, her name is Miss Claudia Matias. She's the director for India market, and for responsible for the travel industry partners. Hello, Claudia. I'm not sure whether you're able to hear me. And hello, Ramanpreet. How are you doing?
God has been kind, Paras. Thank you.
Thanks, Ramanpreet. That's so good to hear from you. You're always very aggressive and you're very, too charged up. I mean, such a great person.
I think it's the aura of a team that I have,
Yeah,
and
that's true. That's true. I'm sure that's true. That's what is called a true leader. I must say that.
thank you. So, Paras and Claudia, welcome to the community. And your sessions has been very interesting. Trust my word, Paras. It has been, we've been receiving a lot of good feedbacks. And the one thing that I wanted to ask, Paras, basically the Indian travel fraternity. There are a lot of MICE movement happens, right? And people have been looking out for a short stay for 3 nights to look out for a destination. I think Portugal is a fantastic place to fit in. Now, particularly talking about, what do you like to comment on the Indian food and how accessible it is to all the people?
Absolutely accessible. You have 111 Indian restaurants in Lisbon itself,
Interesting.
and you
And
have various gala night dinner options for MICE travelers. You have so many options out there, and the best part is that Indian food is something, it's not a different, it's not that you get a different taste. It's absolutely, the taste is very good. And at the same time, a lot of wedding planners have been opting for an option of taking their own chefs as well from India. I mean, when they're hosting weddings, so everything is possible. I mean, Indian food is widely available in Lisbon and Porto also, for that matter.
I think if you see a question, are there any MICE gala dinner venues in Sintra and the other places?
We have, yes. So the website, Tarang, which I was showing earlier, I will just share the screen as well, and I will share the link also with you so that
Sure, sure.
you can share it. Just a moment. So this was the web. This is the website over here, which is meetings in Portugal. Okay.
Okay.
So
Okay.
all the MICE companies have an option to do a variety of search, which means that depending on the size of the group, this website has been designed in a manner wherein you have advanced search options. So for example, your group size is, let's say, 50 to 199.
Wow.
And you want to choose the region. So let's say if you choose Lisbon, then over here you type the hotels, you type venues, and you type event organizers. So you get basically all the detailed information when you search. Okay. So this is something which can be used in terms of creating a tentative proposal also for your clients. But of course, I will share some list of 4 or 5 top companies, the top event organizers, the top MICE, and we have been we have already taken care of groups about which are very large in numbers. For example, a group of 500 or 600 or 700. I mean, these type of groups have already gone from India market. So if doing MICE in Portugal or offering Portugal as a MICE destination is definitely possible. There are all types of services which are available throughout the country. Plus, you have over here a lot of venue options. You have the types of events that are taking place throughout the year. The past events are also available. The future events are also available. So these are some of the events which have happened in the past. So you have details of each type of, whether it's a pharmaceutical industry or if it's a agricultural industry, you can refer to this link as well. The agents can obviously go ahead and refer this link also. At the same time, I would also like to add, Portugal Tourism Board also has a MICE policy, which is very, very popular in terms of the Indian market. And that's also something which is for the agents itself.
Interesting. And a lot of people have been asking about the specialist program. Would you like to share some?
Yeah. So, Raman, we are working on that, and it should be. I mean, I think it should be there with us very soon. But we have been working on that program right now. But at the moment, we do not have a program.
That's okay. And driving for Indians, with the Indian license, does it work?
Come again? Sorry, I didn't hear you.
For Indian driving license, driving in Portugal, does that work?
You need an international driving license.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
But self-drive options are available almost everywhere. And it's beautiful to drive throughout Portugal, let me tell you.
Interesting. I have a very interesting question asked by Rima. Why someone should choose Portugal than any other country, right? So I think you would like to summarize it with key points. Why Portugal?
It's because of its diversified tourism products, because of the weather, because of obviously gastronomy, the wine. I mean, if you ask me, I'm a very strong fan of wine. So, the wine is something which is very popular. You have variety of luxury resorts which can be offered. I mean, there are certain unique resorts in Porto which have some beautiful vineyards, and those resorts have wine barrel shaped rooms. So because of its uniqueness, because of its diversified tourism products, its nightlife, shopping options, gastronomy, and of course the custard tart, which is pastel de nata, which I love it. So that is something which makes Portugal an ideal destination to offer over and above any other destination. And at the same time, the best part is Portugal is not very expensive as compared to other European destinations.
Okay.
So you have almost all types of travelers that can go and visit Portugal. It's not that, budget travelers cannot go. They have lots and lots of 3 stars as well, which can be offered. So, you have several options.
Okay.
But it's a must visit destination.
And especially a question from a younger generation, from the millennials, right? They've been very founded in terms of sharing hostels, the kind of concept like Airbnbs, and that's where it is happening for majority of the travelers which are in between the age of 25 to 40. They are now adopting to such stays. And there are several ways where travel partners can also earn a huge commission out of it. So do you think that there are also options available in Portugal like that?
Well, Airbnb options you're referring to, right?
Right. Similar kind of concepts.
Yes, there are options available. Of course, Airbnb has some options in Lisbon and some options in Porto, which can be looked at Airbnb website. But I can maybe, I can little bit. I mean, I can do a bit of a research on this and maybe give you a final answer because for Portugal so far, the most, the hospitality has been very popular, and in terms of the types of hotels, and as I said, people have been opting for hotels. But yes, if it's a youth, the country's youth, obviously, who's very young, they would definitely try and choose Airbnb options. I know, because they're very
Mhm.
economical and gives you an option to stay for a longer period. So yes, Airbnb options are available to answer to your question. But again, the types of apartments that you're getting and the types of villas that you're getting, obviously, you'll have to check it on Airbnb.
Okay. Now talking about women's travel, right? Because it's popping up a lot, like
Yeah.
from Indian community.
Yes.
Now, women travel is something that I assume that it's a next big thing which can happen because there are a lot of companies those who are key focusing on those terms. How about the safety and security, which I'm sure primarily it is being taken care.
Hmm.
And but listening from you, the safety and security, and what do you like to propose something for women travel specifically?
Well, we have been awarded as the third safest country in the world, Raman,
Wow,
as per Global Peace Safe Index. That's an organization who has given us the award. The
interesting.
Portuguese people are really warm, welcoming, friendly, family friendly, and I don't see safety as a concern. And definitely, there can be a lot of women, ladies groups which can happen, which can originate. And of course, yes, this is a segment which is widely possible for Portugal because of its safety, its environment, and obviously the friendliness offered by various types of people. And hospitality industry is doing really well. People are the hoteliers are really warm welcoming to their guests. It's absolutely safe. There is no problem.
And one question that I had, because a friend of mine is basically connected to a lot of universities across India,
Mhm.
and he's one of the panelists out there. What he does is basically he takes out students for a short trip for 3 to 4 nights, where he
Raman,
takes
I'm
them.
sorry to interrupt you. I'm not
Yeah.
able to hear your voice. It's
Am
little.
I audible now?
Yes, now it's fine.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I have a friend who's basically has a travel agency. Plus, he's also connected to largely with all the universities across India, where what he does is he takes out students aged between 18 plus and 25,
Uh-huh.
and create a short groups for about 40 to 50 students, where they take them to university visits, so lining up some webinars and sessions with the tourism managers based out there in the
Uh-huh.
destinations.
Uh-huh.
Such sort of arrangements are also available in Portugal.
You're talking about school groups, right? Majorly
Not
school.
school group, but it's basically adult groups.
Okay.
Uh, the people, those who are studying for tourism, people, those who want to explore the uh, about.
Universities.
Correct, correct, correct.
Mhm. Well, question very well noted, Raman. I do not have a ready answer, but yes, I
That's okay.
can, I can, I can, come back to you on this question as well. I've written that down. So basically, you're referring to people who are wanting to explore the education culture in Portugal.
Correct.
That's your question, right?
Education, culture, about the universities, how the economic works.
And if the tours can be organized for these type of.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I will definitely write to you, Raman, and maybe the information can be shared with the attendees, or in a. I'm not sure on the mechanism. How will you be able to share it? But yes, I will definitely try and get back to you on this as soon as possible.
Done. So I think I am done now, because I've asked almost all the relevant questions. But if in case we have missed anything, we will definitely get back to you, Paris, and write
Please,
about.
please, I'm always available, and it was really a great set of questions that have come up. I'll be very honest with you. I have to tell you that I've been doing these webinars in last almost a month, but this was one of the best session and the best question and the best audience that I've seen. Thank you so much, Raman, and
Thank you,
everyone.
Paris.
And
So
if you have any information, if you need any information, or if you get any queries from your partners, please do reach out to us, and we will try our best to support wherever possible.
definitely, Paris, I think we are looking out for a long-term relationship now. So we will be keep on
Absolutely.
bothering you.
No, absolutely, I'm available. That's fine.
Great.
Please
So
do reach out to me.
thank you, Paris. Once again, thank you, Claudia, and Tarang, over to you now.
Sure.
Okay. Thank you, Raman, for asking all the questions. Thank you, Mr. Paras, for this amazing presentation
Right,
and
right.
answering all the questions that we had. I would like to sum up today's session on this note that if you have any questions, you can just reach out to us, and we'll be, sending you all the information about today's presentation, all the videos, and Mr. Paras's contact details, wherein you can connect with him directly and ask any question that you have. Thank you so much for attending today's session. Thank you, Paras, for the amazing
Thanks,
presentation.
everyone. Thank you so
Thank,
much. Thank you, everyone who attended on Zoom and as well as YouTube. Thank you so much.
thank you.
Cheers,
Thank
guys.
you.
Bye-bye.
And I hope to see everyone else in our upcoming webinars. We
Yes.
have an amazing lineup, and I've already shared the details in the chat box.
Yeah.
Do check out our events forum, and hope to see you in our next webinars. Thank you.
Thanks.
Great.
Thanks,
Cheers.
guys. All the
Take
best.
care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.